Well, when I retired, this was what our plan was, to be volunteers for disaster relief, and we were going to travel, my wife and I. And then I became aware of 3 or 4 families that were hurting, lost their jobs, or got sick, and so I started scrounging food up. A big part of that is working here with Catholic Charities, because there's one gap there that's not being filled. It makes it possible, opens the doors for other people that could make it to the other programs. Just a block and a half away from the square, and the day workers, they don't have a job by 9:30, then they come up here and at least they can get some food for the day, you know, to help them through until they can get a job. And so it really makes a difference. I feel this is what God has put on my wife and I, our ministry. You don't really have a choice, you know, and they say, well, like I said, don't you get paid for it? And I said, yeah, but I'm not ready to collect just yet. I've got one person that lost his job, and his wife didn't have a job. They didn't have a job. They came down and they had nothing, and we gave him a bunch of food. We gave some extra stuff and everything to help him through. But what really made me remember him is because when he went through the line, he was just looking at the stuff like, you know, tears in his eyes. And then he came by, him and his wife came by and hugged me and crying and saying, I don't know what we'd have done if we didn't have this food, because we had nothing and my kids were, you know, starving. And we're in Sonoma County. You think, well, gee, that don't happen. They can get food anywhere.
In Eritrea, I used to be a student, and then I went into the army. Everyone must do it to serve the country. Then I got sick with diabetes, so I asked them to release me because they don't provide any care for it. We heard about Catholic Charities at the Shimelba refugee camp. I was wishing that I would get help from you. To live in the refugee camp was really difficult. I heard that a lot of people got tired of waiting there, and they moved someplace else, and they died. Parents asked about their kids, and no one knew where they were. The most important thing for me was that I had hope. When they told me that I was going to come here as a refugee, I decided to stay and wait. I can't believe I am seeing my sister. I am so blessed to see her after 17 years. To be here with her right now, I don't have the words to express it. The services I got from Catholic Charities were good for me.
Talking, I can't believe it. Is he here? Is that dream? Is even my kids just stay at night. They can't believe, say, Mom, we're going to have Uncle here.
My dream is to stand on my own, to have a good job, and to take care of myself and help my family. Those are my most important dreams right now. I am going 4 days a week to English classes, and on Saturdays I learn computer. I interviewed for a job, which Ashley found for me 6 weeks after I arrived. You helped me a lot, and from now on, I have to stand by myself. I cannot depend on you all the time. I appreciate the help I've received up until now. It is why I am here. I am really happy to be here. I am very lucky to be here.
Martha and I dated for about 3 years before we got married, and I graduated from college. I went into, was commissioned and become an Air Force pilot. For 30-some years, Martha was in charge, so to speak, most of the time. She was chief financial officer, she was maid, she was cook, taxi driver, and all those things. And we've been very close. We've been married 55 years now, and have children that range in age from 40 to 54. and 9 grandchildren. Martha is a very loving person. She laughs a lot and has a good sense of humor. And she loves children. I mean, she really, that's her first love, I believe. And after the children did leave, she became employed at the airport health club here. And after 2 or 3 years, she became manager of the airport club, child care, and did that for about 15 years before retiring from there. She was kind of slipping away as far as organizing things and remembering a few things, and we didn't know it was just because we're getting older, but it progressed to Alzheimer's disease. She's got a very nice disposition, and it had not always been that way in the early stages of the Alzheimer's, but fortunately she has turned, and it's very much of a godsend to me that she has, and of course part of that is the result of her attending her daycare at Catholic Charities. And it is something that if it wasn't for Catholic Charities, it'd just be an unbearable type of situation. Martha is doing considerably better than she was 6 months ago, primarily as a result of her coming to Catholic Charities Alzheimer's Daycare and the love and support that she gets from the staff. I cannot say enough for our people, not only the full-time and staff employed by Catholic Charities, but the volunteers. God bless them. They do a tremendous job.